Mr. Evans, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, sir. It's a pleasure and an honor. I really appreciate your time this morning.
Pleasure to be with you. I mean, Worcester.
That's right, man.
As my father would say Worcester.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's Worcester.
Yeah, it's actually Worcester, kid. You know how it goes. All right. Well, Dwight Evans, ladies and gentlemen, Dewey, Behind the Gold Glove is the name of the book, and of which you have 8, I believe. Is that correct? 8 Gold Gloves?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, 8 Gold Gloves.
Over 20 years in baseball, Red Sox Hall of Famer, just a legend all around. And did you watch the World Series at all? I got to ask.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And I grew up in Hawaii. My first 10 years were in Hawaii, and then we moved to Los Angeles. So the first team that I came in contact with was the Dodgers that came out of Brooklyn, and they played in the Coliseum. So that's where my connection is. You know, I had nothing against the Yankees. It's so hard now to get to the World Series. So many playoffs that you have to win. The Yankees had a great team. I just think the Dodgers were that much better, and they showed it in 5 games. And I thought their pitching staff was stronger. I thought the Yankees had too many holes, and you had 2 of the greatest players. Ted Williams did not have any great World Series. He was in 2 of them. To see Ohtani not do much, and to see Judge didn't show up either, and Judge had such a great year.
Yeah.
Both of them are going to be MVPs. One of the American League, Judge, and then Ohtani of the National League. But I would have liked to see a little more hitting. Freeman had an outstanding World Series, and I just thought their pitching was stronger.
Yeah. I really thought the Yankees pitching going into it was really going to dominate, with Garrett Cole but it just you know what? The Dodgers took advantage of a lot of mistakes, I think, and especially last night in the 5th inning where things just unraveled for the Yankees. Bad mistakes. In that situation where mistakes are made, and you just can't have that in World Series play because your concentration is so highlighted and so heightened, I should say, and that you want the ball hit to you. You want the situation. There's no room for mistakes. And, last night it hurt the Yankees. But I think sometimes other teams force mistakes and force those situations. So, again, no skin in the game for me, the Yankees or the Dodgers. I've just had the Dodgers because of long memories. How many World Series were you in?
2, 1975 and 1986. And in 75, they still say the best World Series played, and the 6th game being the best World Series game ever. And I was at third base in the 9th inning of the 6th game, and I had a guy named Pete Rose called me Dewey. I'm 23. He's 33. All my teammates called me Dewey, but I didn't know anybody else knew that. He goes, Dewey, this might be the greatest game I've ever played in. And there was still more to come in that game. I made a catch in right field in the top of the 11th, and Fisk hit his memorable home run in the bottom of the 11th, and so much more after that. But for Pete Rose to say that, I kind of opened my eyes and looked at the stands and looked at the situation. I went, I guess we're playing a really good game. And that team that we had, we should have been in the next 5 years. We're pretty much all together. We should have been in at least 1 or 2 more World Series, and thought we should have won, but we didn't get it done. We just didn't get it done, even in '86. And the Mets loved that World Series. And when I was old enough and mature enough, look back on that '86 World Series, and it had to be fun for the Mets fans, obviously. But I heard from a lot of people that weren't baseball fans, and they became baseball fans. They became baseball fans because of that World Series. So if I could look at it as a consolation, that was it for me, Mike.
Well, during that Reds World Series in '75, you mentioned Pete Rose saying that to you, and I think that's a rare thing to realize you're involved in something historic because you're so wrapped up in the moment and trying to get that next out or trying to get that next hit, whatever it may be, that you rarely realize that you're involved in something special, right? Right.
I mean, I was too young in the game to really realize the emotions of that game and realize the situation we were in. And at that time, in the ninth inning, Sparky Anderson came out to make a pitching change. That's the only reason why Pete and I had that little conversation. And I believe he also said that to Fisk. But a lot more in that game was yet to happen, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Carbo's home run was obviously after I'd been on, you know, before I was on third base. So we were losing 5-2, and Carbo hits a 3-run home run to tie it up.
Yeah.
So Carbo doesn't hit that home run. I don't make that catch, and Fisk doesn't hit his home run. So great memories.
Yeah.
Great memories, and so much more. In you know, I talk about it in the book as well. 86 and 75.
Which one was tougher for you? A tougher loss? I mean, they're all tough, especially if it's the World Series. I can't even imagine, you know, how Aaron Judge is feeling.
75 was great, but a bloop single by Joe Morgan in the eighth inning to beat us by 1 run. We really felt like we were going to be in a 2 or 3 more World Series in the next 5 years, and we didn't play in another World Series for 11 years. And wanting it so bad, and it just never happened. And I can remember with 2 outs, this happened 3 times. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and we just couldn't shut the door. And during that time, and I share this in the book because it did happen, I'm thanking God, and it says up on the scoreboard in left center, it says, the game's not over. It says, congratulations to the 1986 World Champion Boston Red Sox.
Oh.
Now, at that moment, I am just thanking God. I'm like higher than a kite and just couldn't be more elated and happy than I was at the moment. Then a blue single, then another single with 2 strikes, then another single. And then, you know, then it happened with Buckner. And again, with Buckner, dear friend, we would never have been there if it weren't for Bill Buckner. And I thought we came back in the 7th game against the Mets. We took the lead and just couldn't hold it. And we had a great attitude after that game. We really didn't think it was anybody's fault. It just happened. Yeah, we were stunned, but we were coming back the next night, and the next night we got rained out. It was a rainy night, and so we played, and we were really ready to go. We came out and got the early lead, and I thought we would do better than that and get more runs, but we just didn't. And I'm so proud of 04 and 07 and 2013 and 18. We had 2 World Series, and people say, weren't you jealous? I said, no, not at all. I was so happy in 04. They got the job done. We didn't get it done. So, and in 07, 13, and 18, they got it done.
Yeah, they did it. They did it for all you guys. You know, for all you guys.
Yes.
Dwight Evans, the book is called Dewey, Behind the Gold Glove. As Mr. Evans mentioned, he talks about the World Series, and you talk about your amazing career in baseball over 20 years, and you talk about the difficulties with your family, and you had 2 kids that had, I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right, neurofibromatosis. And
neurofibromatosis, we call it NF for short.
An NF. And just before I let you go, what did you do to separate? I mean, obviously, and when my daughter had a cold, I couldn't function. That's all I had on my mind all day. But to focus on a major league level and still play, I mean, what did you do anything? What did you do to do that, to focus?
Mike, that's a great question. Many times, my oldest son had 44 major surgeries. So I'd come from the hospital at 4 o'clock, and when I drive through the parking lot gates at Fenway, it was like a free zone for me, or I could get away from that. I played long enough to where I was mature enough to be able to put that feeling and leave it outside the gate. And for 7 or 8 hours, I had 3 moments where that's why I dedicate the book to my wife. She didn't have a gate to drive through. She didn't have that. She was 24/7, 365, and with this situation all the time. She never had an emotional, relaxing time. So it's a book that I'm very proud of, and there's a lot of emotion to it. There's a lot of things that people don't think the players go through. And hopefully this helps people that have lost children That's what I'm hoping.
All right. Well, Dwight Evans, it's been a real pleasure and an honor to talk to you. Red Sox Hall of Famer, baseball legend, Dwight Evans. The book is called Dewey Behind the Gold Glove. Hey, thanks for your time today. Good luck with the book. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Nice being with you.